Bluey is full of smart little details that connect one episode to another. But what if I told you that there are secret things happening in the show that not only go unnoticed, but sometimes make no sense at all?
What's this?
Let's talk about something that's kind of bizarre. The healers are dogs, right? None of them wear clothes. Not ever. So, why are they always doing laundry? Some folks online think it's just to show kids the importance of chores. Others believe they're only washing dog stuff, like towels, sheets, or blankets. But then there's this moment in the episode Sleepy Time where Bandit is literally wearing a pair of underwear. Like, why? Why would a dog have underwear? Turns out there's actually a reason for all this laundry business. And yep, I'm gonna explain it to you. But not yet. That part's coming at the end of this video. So stay tuned, grab your laundry basket, and let's dive into Bluey's weirdest secrets. Right here on Bluey Bingoverse. Here's a sneaky Bluey reference that flew under the radar, but it's tucked away in another legendary cartoon. Yep, you heard that right. A Bluey Easter egg. Inside The Simpsons. Back in 2021, Disney Plus dropped a special short to celebrate its 2-year anniversary. The concept? All the major Disney characters, classic and modern, crash Moe's Tavern for a wild party called the Plusiversary. And the best part? Everyone's invited, except Homer. As he stands outside arguing with Maleficent, you can spot cameos like Wreck-It Ralph and Maui. Inside the bar, it's a who's who of Disney, with Elsa just casually hanging out. But here's where it gets fun. Maleficent checks the guest list to see if Homer's name is on it. And if you pause at the right second, guess who shows up? Bluey. That's right. She's officially on the list. Back then, Bluey wasn't quite the global sensation she is now. The show had only recently joined the Disney family and was still building steam internationally. But here's the weirdest bit. Why would Bluey be the one invited to a bar? Where's Bandit? She's literally a kid. She's not even allowed near that kind of party. Got any wild guesses why a preschool pup is hitting Moe's? Drop it down below using the hashtag Bluey and see if you can come up with something before your brain melts. Here's a little-known twist about the show. There are episodes where Bluey isn't the star. In fact, there are a few where she's barely there, or doesn't even show up at all. Yep, the main pup herself. The one whose name is on the title sometimes gets totally sidelined. The first time this happens is in the episode Army. That's when we meet Jack Russell, who's just transferred to a new school. Jack has a hard time with memory, sitting still and following directions. Classic signs of ADHD. But instead of being overwhelmed, Jack finds his rhythm through play. He teams up with Rusty in a pretend military game where he has to memorize landscapes, stay alert while standing guard, and follow Rusty's commands precisely. It's a brilliant way to show how kids can thrive with the right support, and how play can be a powerful tool for learning. And if you didn't know, Rusty was once considered to be the star of the show. Imagine Rusty as the title character, with Bluey just popping in here and there, which is exactly what happens in Army. Bluey only shows up in one quick scene at the beginning. Literally 4 seconds of screen time. In her own show. But it gets even wilder. There are 2 episodes where she's not in them at all. In Turtle Boy, the spotlight shifts entirely to Bandit and Bingo. They're at the park, and Bingo becomes attached to a small turtle toy. Bandit doesn't let her bring it home, so she treats it gently, hoping it'll be there next time she visits. Then there's Slide, where Bandit sets up a water slide for Bingo and her classmate Lila. While the kids have a blast, they also show their sweet side, rescuing tiny insects that accidentally slip into the splash zone. So yeah, Bluey might be the face of the show, but sometimes she takes a step back to let the other characters shine. This next secret isn't tucked away in an episode. It's more about what happened outside the show. It's about how wildly popular Bluey has become and how much love it's gotten from fans everywhere. If you've been keeping up, you already know the sign was a huge deal. Not just emotionally, but also because of its length. It ran for 28 minutes straight. That's like watching 4 regular episodes in one go. And the extended runtime was announced ahead of its premiere. Knowing how long it takes to animate just one Bluey episode, fans realized this one must have been in the works for ages, and the anticipation was off the charts. So when it finally aired live on TV, how many people tuned in? Over 2 million. Yep, Millions of people were glued to their screens. That's almost 10% of everyone in Australia watching a cartoon dog family at the exact same time. And considering how much of an emotional roller coaster the sign turned out to be, just picture 2 million people crying into their snacks together. Seriously, I bet you could fill up a pool with the amount of tears that were dropped. Let's talk about a moment so emotionally charged that even the props couldn't stay cool. In the episode Fancy Restaurant, Bluey and Bingo come up with a plan out of the blue. They want to see their parents kiss. According to them, it's the peak of romance. So they go all out. They transform the house into a fancy restaurant, complete with a dining setup and a weird little kitchen in the next room where Bingo starts mixing up some truly questionable dishes. But the funniest moment comes when Bandit tries to lay on the charm. He leans in and tells Chili, "I told you this was the fanciest restaurant of all." And right then, perfect comedic timing, a string light in the background gives up and dies. It's such a small moment, but it's gold. The animators at Ludo Studio literally used a blown-out bulb as a punchline. That's next-level comedy. If you've been paying attention, you already know about the long dog, the oddly stretched-out pup that's been sneakily hiding in episodes, sometimes even dressed to match the theme. But in the Season 3 finale, we get a version of him that's way out of the ordinary. Right after Bandit spends the whole episode bouncing from one daughter's game to the next, just trying to catch the footy on TV, we're hit with a big moment. Adult Bluey shows up, and as Chili heads for the door, tucked quietly in the corner of the room is Long Dog. But this time, he's gone full sci-fi. Metal limbs, robotic parts, and even what looks like a cannon for a paw. It's like RoboCop, but weirder. This isn't random. It's actually tied to the toy Bluey was playing with earlier in the episode. And in the final scene, her kid, the one fans call Roxy, uses that same toy to zap Bandit just before the credits hit. But wait, there's more. Just before Bluey presses the doorbell, there's a quick exterior time-lapse of the healer house, and the background has changed a lot. The tree in the yard? Now full-grown. The palm tree? Much taller. That old tower? Swapped for a wind turbine. The neighbor houses? Replaced with sleek skyscrapers. And above it all, drones zooming through the sky, making deliveries. Sure, Amazon's already testing delivery drones, but in this world, it looks like they've taken over the skies completely. Did you ever notice that every dog in Bluey is based on a real-life breed? Bluey and her family are Australian cattle dogs, and Mackenzie's a border collie. But let's talk about Rusty and his crew for a second. Rusty is an Australian Kelpie, a working dog breed that often sports distinct markings on their chests. And yep, the animators didn't let that slide. They gave each member of Rusty's family a unique fur pattern that reflects this real-life trait. In that cricket episode where everyone's trying to take Rusty down, it's super clear. Rusty's got a diamond on his chest. Dusty, his little sister, has a perfect circle. Digger, his older brother, rocks a downward arrow. Their mom's chest has a lightning bolt. And the dad? An upside-down triangle. It's a great example of how much care the animators put into blending realism into their designs, right down to the fur patterns. Remember when I mentioned the weird thing about the clothes early on? Time to clear that up. There's actually a really practical reason why the main characters don't wear outfits. And nope, it's not just because they're dogs. Each Bluey episode takes an incredible amount of time to create, about 5 months from start to finish. The animation is stunning, far above what you'd expect from most kids' shows, and honestly, it outshines plenty of adult cartoons too. Even though episodes are only 7 minutes long, production is split across 4 teams, with each group working on a different episode at the same time. So, while one team's animating Fancy Restaurant, another might be handling Army, and 2 others are knee-deep in Slide and Turtle Boy. They each focus on specific tasks: animation, color corrections, syncing audio, stuff like that. Now imagine throwing clothes into the mix. Animating clothing adds a whole layer of complexity, which is why only a handful of supporting characters wear them. Doctors, shopkeepers, vets, and dogs like Sparky and Chippy from the Builder episode wear clothes because they only pop in briefly. And the outfits help quickly define their roles. But what about Indy and her vest? She's a recurring character, so what gives? Well, as shown in the Market episode, Indy has a ton of allergies and a super strict diet thanks to her mom. That vest? It's likely to keep her from scratching during flare-ups. Real dogs wear them for the same reason. So the decision to give Indy a vest is no accident. It's another example of how ridiculously sharp the Ludo Studio team is when it comes to subtle storytelling.